Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be continuing my first Terraria playthrough. If you like the video, please consider subscribing, and I think I'm going to start streaming this series on Twitch in late January. That will be on Twitch because I can't stream on YouTube without 1,000 subs, but we'll see how all that goes. Alright, so first thing I did was I put on these pants that I probably got while fighting the boss, and I made myself a better helmet using the scales that I got from the boss. Soon we're going to fight this boss, but before that I went over to the beach to see if anyone had the pylon for me. They didn't, so I moved people around like you suggested, and then went back to the arena and started extending it. I just made it a bit higher, and yeah, it looks a lot bigger. I'll have more time to react to the worm coming out of the ground. So yeah, that'll be cool. Unfortunately, there was like a red tint everywhere and there were different enemies, so I figured I'd go back to my house to see what was going on. And let me just say there were like hundreds of enemies that I ended up fighting, and it was absolutely ridiculous. And they could walk through doors. It was terrible, but anyway, eventually I got this achievement that I completed Bloodbath. So that's great. After that, I made the worm food, put up these banners that I just kind of hoped would help, but who knows if it did or not. And then I ate the worm food. Now for this boss fight, I definitely knew the strategy better. I hit all the areas of its body like one time, but I was careful to try not splitting it, which of course I immediately failed at. But I was much more successful at doing that this time around, of just hitting the ends of it to try and cut off the tail or the head. In this one, I was also just a lot better at dodging because I could see it coming from a greater distance. So extending the fort really did help. I also was getting a ton of hearts during this battle, a lot more than I was getting last time, so I never had to use a healing potion. And yeah, as you can see from the health bar, I did pretty good on this one. I was able to bring it all the way down and finish it off. So I was pretty pumped about that. After looking at the rewards, there was really nothing, but you guys told me that. However, there was this thing, which I totally thought was going to spawn another boss, because it said it would spawn a baby eater of souls, which I somehow read as a baby destroyer of worlds. It wasn't, and I sat there confused for a minute until I realized, oh, yeah, no, that's not what it does at all. It just gives me this little companion that follows me around and is just a nuisance. Like, it doesn't do anything, it just makes me feel like I'm about to die. So, that's cool. Anyways, once I got back, I just decided to complete the set that I'd started building this morning. I crafted new pants because even though the other ones were just as tough, I wanted whatever the set bonus was, and that turned out to be good because the set bonus is increased movement speed and acceleration, so that'll be good. I mean, look at me, I'm moving and you can like see my shadow behind me. It's pretty cool. After wondering what to do for a while, I just decided to go back to the beach and move this person's house a little bit off of the other ones so that everyone wouldn't feel so cramped. And I tried to do that, and I mean, I did it, but this NPC started freaking out. At least I think. Maybe she does that every night. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I separated the house, and then she went back to normal, so we're good. Back at the house, I decided I would spawn in an extra boss that you guys had told me about. I had the platinum I needed, but I had to go find a ruby, which I found pretty easily just down in the mines. After that, I crafted the crown and put it on my head like a doofus. Don't worry, I figured that out eventually. And then I try and spawn the slime crown, but I realize, oh, I need a demon altar. That seems pretty par for the course. And so I went to one, quickly just crafted myself this slime thing. As I got back up to the surface into my jungle arena, I started fighting it. This one, y'all told me, was super easy. And yeah, it was. I just consistently kept knocking it down in health. I mean, I've been fighting it for what, 20 seconds, and it's almost half dead. So yeah, this was going to be pretty easy. I thought it was interesting that this boss will jump to whatever layer you're on. I guess that makes sense. So having an arena though on this fight wasn't a huge necessity. And yeah, so just some things that I noticed that were kind of interesting. For some reason, I decided to start killing off the little slimes that were spawning during this fight, even though the fight wasn't over yet. I'm not sure why. I guess I just figured that I would end the boss fight without any little slimes next to me, but I didn't realize how low my health had got, and I died. This boss was so easy, like so easy, and I died. So I went back to the mines, and while searching for a ruby, I saw this guy, the unconscious man, I guess, and yeah, he's fine, I guess. And I was able to buy some stuff from him. I just decided to buy this crystal and its stand, so we'll be able to figure out what that does in the next episode. While exploring down in the mines, I finally found my ruby right next to this kind of creepy looking house. But hey, the ruby's the ruby, and after securing the area a bit, I was able to finally look inside this chest. Nothing new, but some more platinum ain't bad. And then I made myself another slime crown and spawned in the boss again. I did not want to be outdone by this slime, who was the easiest boss out of all of them, but somehow I still died to it. Yeah, anyway, so he showed up, and yeah, I was determined not to take my eyes off of him. I was determined to make sure that I wouldn't die, and I was determined to make sure not to get distracted by anything else. And yeah, it worked out pretty well. I just decided to slowly keep backing away in this direction, which I probably should have done for longer. For some reason, I decided to go the other way. But, I mean, there can't be enough enemies in the desert where it's worse than how many slimes there were here. But either way, as you can probably guess, I just kept on shooting it, and yeah, it did eventually die, so we're good there. I got some interesting loot. First I had to kill off all these slimes. Not that one though. The loot that I got seemed to include some sort of mount, so I was pretty eager to try that out. And yeah, it's not like it's fast, but it can jump. And because I have the cloud in a bottle, it can double jump, so it can jump super high. I also got some cool but useless other stuff, and I also got this little creature that I can pet. Not sure what to do with him, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's all for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a fantastic day.